are coming on 1 year ago today. 1 year ago today, Donald Trump was still in the White House throwing chicken nuggets at the TV, and 1 year from today, he could be in jail. According to documents filed by the Attorney General in New York last night, they've uncovered evidence that indicates the Trump Organization repeatedly engaged in fraudulent or misleading practices. The walls appear to be closing in on Trump. Big, beautiful walls. Mexico's like, let us know if you need to chip in with that, muchachos. But when you look at this and you think about this, the president, you have to say, this is shocking. I mean, who could have ever predicted, I mean, of all things, fraud?
The president-elect Donald Trump settling with students who had claimed Trump University was fraudulent.
Donald Trump?
It found that Mr. Trump and his father built their fortune by engaging in a, quote, pattern of deception and obfuscation.
I mean, not this family.
He and his siblings set up a sham corporation to disguise millions of dollars in gifts.
But who would have ever thought that...
Prosecutors say that for at least 15 years, the Trump Organization paid top executives off the books.
That Donald J. Trump.
It was a classic bait and switch scheme. It was a scam, starting with the fact that it was not a university.
A man who has given so much to so many.
A federal judge is ordering President Trump to pay $2 million to a series of nonprofit organizations.
Would do anything to cheat the very people who love him most.
Donald Trump is under fire for conning over $100 million from his most loyal supporters.
I just don't know where this comes from, you know? It's just out of the blue. But it's a fairly straightforward case. If you find fraud in a business, you just have to look for the signs, particularly the signs at the top of the building that say Trump on them, and you will find it there. There is where you will find his mail pattern fraudness. Meanwhile, in Washington, the subpoenas are flowing. They were like Oprah with a lot full of Pontiacs yesterday. You get a subpoena. You get a subpoena. The House Select Committee, looking into the attack on the Capitol last January 6th, issued subpoenas for Trump's former attorney, Rudy Giuliani, his future former daughter-in-law, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and his dopey son, Eric. The committee wants to know exactly how much Eric doesn't know, and I'm sure that is a lot. They would like to see his phone records. You know, when the committee originally took possession of Eric's phone, it turned out to be a banana. Dad gave it to him for Christmas, told him it was an iPhone 12, but now they want the electric one. The House is looking into what went down in the so-called Trump War Room meeting led by Giuliani at the Willard Hotel. So they issued a subpoena for Giuliani, which is unnecessary. All they need to do is say his name 3 times in the mirror and he'll appear. But Rudy's lawyer says the whole thing is political theater, and even if he does show up to answer questions from the committee, he's just gonna lie. He's a liar, is what he does. He lies about things he doesn't even need to lie about. Listen to this. Back in September, so Rudy shows up at a 9/11 dinner and claims he rejected a knighthood from the Queen of England because if you accept a knighthood, you lose your United States citizenship.
I turned down a knighthood because if you took a knighthood, you had to lose your citizenship.
Now, there are a few things about this clip that aren't true. First of all, the chyron. Zoom in on that. He's billed as host Common Sense podcast instead of dildo store goblin. So that's number one. Now, number two, the part about turning down a knighthood because you'll lose your citizenship if you don't. Dozens of Americans have been knighted, including Steven Spielberg, Bill Gates, Bob Hope, President Bush, all of whom remained American citizens. None of them had to leave the country. And you know who else was knighted? 2 mayors of New York. Mike Bloomberg was knighted, and before that, are you ready for this? Rudy Giuliani was knighted. He was knighted. Here's the video from right after the ceremony happened.
She congratulated me. She's on my leadership during a very horrible time. She said it must have been hard and awful. She said that she had watched a lot of what happened and what I had done, and that she wanted to express her admiration.
There he was with a little chocolate cake on his head, lying about... Why would you lie about this? I mean, why would you... I'll tell you why, because he lies about everything. And by the way, according to British law, the Queen can revoke your knighthood if she wants to. She took it away from one creepy, balding, sweaty liar. She can jolly well do it again if she wants. And how do you not know you got knighted? I mean, if I was Rudy Giuliani, I'd use this as my defense. When the committee member asked, did you help coordinate the attack on the Capitol? I would just say, I don't know. I don't even remember being knighted by the Queen. Earlier tonight, the Supreme Court rejected Trump's attempt to keep records related to the events leading up to the insurrection secret, which clears the way for the committee to go through more than 700 documents they haven't seen. Hopefully something will come of that. I tell you what, we have COVID, we have flu. The only disease we haven't caught yet is Donald Trump. President Biden today, thank you, gave his first press conference in a long time, and it went on for a long time. May still be going, I don't know. For almost 2 hours, Biden took question after question about Russia, COVID, voter rights. He really got into why the Denny's breakfast menu is so sticky all the time. In his opening remarks, he said, the president said there's no cause for panic. And whenever I hear that, there's no cause for panic, I panic. I hadn't even thought about panicking until he told me there was no cause for it today. But he was optimistic overall. He said we're going to see more change in the next 10 years than we've ever seen. And he's been keeping that change in a mason jar in the trunk of his Model T. So the president took a lot of questions, too many questions. You know, at the end of most press conferences, the reporters say, Mr. President, at the end of this one, they're like, okay, bye, we're good. We got plenty. But it was a big day for Joe. In New York, this happened yesterday. Madame Tussauds unveiled their new wax figures of the president and the vice president. And you can see they did quite a job. This might be the first time a wax figure has looked more lifelike than the person it's based on. They built him back better. And you can see young people in particular were pretty excited about it. So, and by the way, if you want your own waxy Joe Biden, you can buy a candle of his head on Amazon for $15. But smells like hard candy and Ben Gay. Things are looking up, at least according to the CEO of Pfizer, who predicts we could see a return to normal life by spring. He didn't say which spring. 2033, maybe, I don't know. My neighbor spent the last, 2 years posting Facebook memes of Bill Gates with devil horns. I don't know that there's a normal for us to go back to, but Pfizer is teaming up with their rival pharmaceutical companies to tease a return to normal life by dropping a surprise new trailer for it.
Coming this spring to theaters, restaurants, banks, hotels, bouncy castles, and crowded elevators everywhere. Starring this guy, these two ladies, this baby, and everyone else on Earth, including two-time Academy Award winner Tom Hanks. Hands will be held, apps will be shared, apples will be bobbed, and orgies will be had. Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson present Normal Life. Coming April 2022. Unless we it up again.
We will. And what are you looking forward to getting back to most, Guillermo?
Getting together with the family, you know.
Which family? Not yours.
No, well, everybody, like old friends.
Getting together with other people's families,
yes,
right?
And drink and have a good time.
Not the orgies? No?
No,
okay. With all we have going on in the world, there are a lot of important things happening, but there's nothing more crucial than the ongoing drama involving Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, and Kim's estranged husband, Ye. You've been following this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Ye is upset that Pete is dating Kim, so much so he released a new song this week in which he threatens violence against Pete Davidson. And the song is such a hit, it's already being covered by different artists, including, shockingly, the all-American children's singing group, Kidz Bop.
The biggest Kidz Bop album of the year is here. Kanye West's hot new hit, Easy, sung by kids for kids.
With kid-friendly lyrics.
That's right. We changed this.
God save me from that crash, just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
Who? To this.
God save me from the crash, so I could throw Pete Davidson a birthday bash. We take the disses and turn them into kisses.
Questionable messages like this.
I'ma turn up the music, wake up the neighbors. I'ma get that thug life tatted across the navel.
Become positive messages like this.
We're gonna turn the music up, but not too loud. We're gonna think of ways to make mom and dad proud. Hog life!
And when the game says this.
Run into the crypts, it ain't no discussion. Bullet wounds drenched in Hennessy and teaspoons of Robitussin.
We say this.
I like my bacon crispy and my egg McMuffin.
I get a whole bag just to share them with my second cousin.
Kids Bop Yay is available everywhere now.
Kanye's gonna want to kill us, but he can't because we're kids.
Order soon and we'll throw in a free copy of Kids Wop, our version of the mega hit that parents can feel good about.
I'll give you everything I got.
'Cause I want a puppy.
Warning, Kids Bop may be considered child abuse in 15 states.
Oh, that's what WAP stands for. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and I am not allowed to eat this cookie until you click the subscribe button, so please click now. I'm hungry.